Hello, Ghana. Good day to us all. I'm Stacey Frank Kwame, a mathematics enthusiast, a mathematics teacher at Michelle Come 2 JHS. I want to add my voice to the ongoing debate, the ongoing discussions as to whether the state nine system is living up to expectation or not. And I've seen on many platforms where WAEC is being called out. I have a different opinion from what others have about the state nine system. First, I want us to understand the state nine system across the globe. When it comes to any assessment test that seeks to select people into various fields or compartments, or that seeks to place students or people in certain domains, there is no statistical tool that is more efficient than the state nine system. The state nine system is basically used to place people into groups, especially for selection procedures or placement into groups. There is no other statistical tool that is more effective than the state nine system. Mind you, the state nine system was not invented by WAEC. The state nine system is in use in many parts of the world. Now, why is it that we are having issues with the state nine system in this era? WAEC started using the state nine system. From my research, I bet to differ. I stand to be corrected. For my research, WAEC started using this state nine system since 1993. And why is it that there have been no issues, there have been no discussions across board on this particular state nine system until recently? Now, people are spreading falsehood that the state nine system stretches the score for grade 1 to 95, 96 to 100. Now, you should understand that this state nine system works with other statistical tools. And this is it. There is a bell-shaped curve. Now, those who brought up the state line system realize that in every assessment or in every test that you seek to measure something, there are the extremists. The extremist simply means that a few people from the lot will do extremely well. In the same vein, a few people from the lot would do extremely bad. And majority of the people would be at the center stage or the average domain. When it comes to height, you cannot tell me you have a lot of people with very tall who are very tall, or you cannot tell me you have a lot of people who are very short. Majority of the people will have medium height, average height, whilst a few of us would be tall, will be very tall, and a few will also be very short. That is one thing you should note. When it comes to color, it's the same. So when it comes to assessment test or any achievement test, once the achievement test is seeking to assess whatever it is purported to assess, obviously understand that just a few people will score the extreme score, and that's a few people would perform very poorly. So the state nine system is working according to that. That is why the top 4% are assigned grade 1 and the last 4% are assigned grade 9. The next 7%, apart from the top 4%, are assigned grade 2, and the last 7%, apart from the 2%, are also assigned grade 8. Now, what is the challenge with the state nine system? This is an issue, or it is where we have to start our discussions from. You know what the state 9 system means is that if we take an exam in mathematics and the top 4% scores are within the range of 50 to 100, it means that our grade 1 starts from 50. So we are in no hurry to look at um, 80, 90, 70 as our grade 1. We are only interested in looking at the scores of the top 4% of those who took part in the exams, and they are assigned grade 1. Now, if truly, I think WAEC must come out, if truly our grade 1s are stretched from 95 to 100 as purported by people, then where is the challenge? It means that our learners, majority of them, are going to score above 80 to 100. And do you know what it means to our assessment score? Do you know what it means to our assessment test? It simply means that maybe our assessment test is not actually measuring what it has to measure. Maybe our assessment test is below standard. If our assessment test is a standardized one, obviously the state 9 should work. Majority of those who score grade 1, those who score grade 1 should be within the 80, 70, 90 bracket if our assessment test is standard. But why is it that we are now crying foul? Why is it that we are now saying that our assessment score for grade 1 is within the 90s? It is because of the influx of examination malpractice. That is where we will have to tailor our our issues to. Why are we saying this? Teachers in the senior high schools are complaining every now and then. You realize some students who had grade 1 in maths, who had grade 1 in English, cannot simply write a good essay. A candidate who had grade 1 in English. Do you know what it means? What it means to have grade 1 in English is that the top 4% of those who sat that exam that particular year, you are part of them. And is this not an issue of national concern that our top 4% candidates who took part in an examination cannot write proper essay in English? Is it not an issue of national concern that our top 4% of candidates who took part in an examination in mathematics cannot solve simple algebraic expression questions in the senior high school? Is it not shocking that our top 4% cannot perform simple fraction tasks in the senior high schools? What it means is that these candidates who score 1 in mathematics are the best students that we ever had in that particular year. And if our best students cannot solve simple algebraic expressions, they cannot add simple fractions, they are adding numerators and adding denominators alike for just simple fractions, then this calls for a serious national issue and not chastising WAEC for all of these issues. So the major issue we have as a nation is that the influx of examination malpractice has taken over our education system. That is why students will be able to score IGS 6 and they are not even able to do basic things in the area where they scored 1. So this is where the issues lie. Rather than calling out WAEC, we will have to take a critical look at our examinations. We have to tighten our seat belts so that we would prevent leakages. We are living in a country where learners who are in JHS2 are writing BC every year. Are we saying we don't know of these issues? Are we saying that we've been able to seal these leakages? We are living in a country where most of these people who are writing the exam from JHS2 are children of our top people in the country, and nothing is done about it. These are students who struggle with basic stuffs in the various subjects, but they write examination in certain schools and get aggregate 6. This calls for national concern. These are issues that we should start addressing rather than looking at changing the state line. If you change the state line and then you come to assigning grades to particular score range, 80 to 100 with one, we don't use that for placement purposes. Why? Imagine 600,000 candidates who wrote the BEC this year. About 500,000 of them got grade one in mathematics. Let's say, and so on and so forth. When we accumulate the aggregate score, about 300,000 of them got aggregate six. Now, out of these 300,000, they have become increasingly confident that they are going to get admission into our top schools, PSEC. And imagine 200,000 people are applying for science in PSEC. And PSEC science can only accommodate, let's say, 1,000 of them. How are we going to put these people into ranks to know which of the 1,000 qualify to get admission to PSEC? You think we are going to go over to the raw score? Getting the raw score of 600 candidates is no joke. So the issue is not about changing the state nine, getting a standard score for our grades. The issue is that what is stretching the state nine? What is stretching the state nine? If truly the grade one score is starting from 95 in some subject areas, what is actually stretching the state nine? Is it that our students are becoming good in this era, where we are looking for people who have the 21st century skills of critical thinking, problem solving, among others? Are we saying we are raising these people to the highest standard, and they are scoring 95 in our assessment test, which is a standard one? That is a no. You can ask any teacher in the senior high school to take a critical look at the aggregate score of our learners who completed JHS into the senior high school. They are expected to be able to perform basic arithmetic, basic things in English, basic things in science. Some students who are able to get to grade one in science and they don't even know the chemical formula for hydrogen molecule. How do you tell me this? That a student who is part of the top 4% performing students in an exams is not able to identify the chemical formula for hydrogen molecule. It's serious. It's serious. Now, another issue is our interpretation of these grades is wrong and it is flawed. You see, this state 9 system or our BC grading system, we should understand that you cannot compare two different years. If I get grade 1 in maths in 2026 and someone gets grade 3 in maths in 2025, it does not make me better off than that person because these are separate years. And the fact that I am part of the top 4% this particular year in mathematics does not necessarily mean that if I should have written 3 years ago, my score would have been part of the top 4%. So our interpretation to these BC grades is also causing a challenge to us. How do we interpret this course? If I'm able to get grade one in mathematics, it doesn't matter the score. What it means is that my score in mathematics is part of the top 4% in the country. When I'm able to get grade two, what it simply means is that I am part of the top 11% because the next 7%, in addition to the top 4%, becomes 11%. I am part of the top 11% performing candidate in that particular year in the exams. And if I should get grade four, grade five, grade six in an exams, it means that I am part of the I am within the middle zone. My score is part of the mid zone ranked score among those who took part in the exams in that particular year. And that is where we should start interpreting this course from. And if we are able to work out our examination malpractices, the state nine would not be stretched And some of these issues we are experiencing now, which was not necessarily experienced years back, would be a thing of the past. You know what it means? Let me explain with a clear example. Yao Educhum is a candidate who wrote BECE from, let's say, Asesewa Methodist A Basic School. Now, Yao Educhum burned the midnight candle, studied so hard, and wrote the examination. Now, the score of Yao Educhum is 78%, which is a good score in mathematics. Okay. Now, we have another candidate who is Sewakutu, who is schooling in Accra. That's one of the top schools in Accra. Now, Sewakutu is giving a hint as to which questions are dropping in the mathematics BEC exams, whether before the paper or during the exams. Some teachers will solve some questions and smuggle these answers inside the examination hall for Sewakutu to write. Now, do you know what we are doing to the system? Now, Sewakutu eventually scores 96% in the mathematics exams. And ideally, if we look at um, how prepared Sawakuto was for the exams, her score should have been 48. Okay. Now, Sawakuto's 96 is part of the top 4% scores in the exams. Now, Sawakuto really deserves 48%, but because of the help she got, she now got 96%. Now, the 78% dropped. That is for the gentleman who was schooling at Asasewa Methodist Basic School, who did the exams by himself and got 78%. His score dropped to the next 7%. You know what it means? What it means is that the true reflection of whatever the students know in the exams would have placed the gentleman who wrote the exam at Asasewa Methodist in the category A, where he or she is going to score grade 1 in the exams. But because of the influx of malpractice, Sewakoto, who deserves to get grade 5 or grade 6, has now found herself in grade 1. And she does not only find herself in grade 1, what makes it dangerous is that Sewakoto is occupying the position that belongs to the gentleman who wrote the exams in Asasewa Methodist JHS. And that is the challenge we are facing. Majority of our top 4% candidates do not deserve to be there. And that is where we should start tackling these issues from. Thank you very much. And this is my humble opinion. This is my view. I think we can look at it, start looking at things from this perspective. Thank you very much. Bye bye.